This video, we will talk about logical operator. We will just have simple introduction, talk about different logical operator. So what are logical operator? Logical operator, we have three different kind of operator. We call AND, OR, NOT. So those operator is used to create relational expression from other relational expressions. On the other hand, sometimes we have more than one relational operation. So those relational expression, they have relationship between each other. So that's why we can connect them together. And sometimes using the logical operator, they may be used to replace nested if-else statement. So that's why later we will see we have the nested if-else statement from earlier. So then we will see how can we replace with the logical operator. So those operators meaning and explanation like that. So you see AND, right? So AND in C++, we use the ampersand to represent AND. So that's the new relational expression is true if both expressions are true. That means when you're using the AND, actually you have two relational expressions associated with that. For example, we have expression 1 and expression 2. Only when both expression 1 and 2, they are both true, we will return true. Otherwise, if one of that is false, that's return false. So that's AND. So both AND mean A and B both need to be true, then the result will be true. So then we have OR. OR in C++ symbol we're using two pipe. So the same thing, that's a new relational expression is true if either expression is true. So that's why you can see OR, right? So the same thing OR, you will have two expressions associated with that. On the left, you have expression 1. On the right, you have expression 2. If we see the OR, just one of the expression is true, then we return true. So that's OR. So NOT, then we use the exclamation mark. NOT only associate with one expression. So that's why you see they reverse the value of an expression, only one expression, but you reverse that. So if this expression is true, then we become false. Otherwise, if that's false, we become true. So to talk about more about the AND or NOT operation, a lot of time we will see like this. In C++, please using this symbol. But sometimes in the math or other logical expression, we're using the cap to show the AND. So you can see AND, you will have two values associated with that. So only both is true, your result is true. Otherwise, if only one is true or both are false, they still false. So that's AND. So the same thing, we have OR. So OR, the same thing, you associate with two value, two expression. So then the OR is if one of that is true, your result is true. So then, of course, both of them are false, then become false. Or both are true, then become true. So then the last one is the NOT. So you can see NOT only associated with one expression. You see, you just reverse the result. So after we understand AND, OR, or NOT, so now let's reverse our example 4. If you remember from the previous two videos, we have the example 4. We talk about if a customer is employed and, you see AND, recently graded within 2 years from college. So this customer will be qualified for a special interest rate. So that's why you see in the wording, you see the keyword AND. So then we can using a logical operator to connect these two conditional logic condition. So we're using the and. So then you will see example 7 that's modified from example 4. So we still have the employee and recent grade card get from the user input. So we still ask the user to answer these two questions first. Are you employed? Have you graduated from college in the past 2 years? Right, so if you remember in the example 4, we try to use the nested if-else statement. After employee equal to Y, then I continue to check the recent grade is equal to Y or not. But now here we don't need to using the nested if-else statement because only both is true, they will qualify for the special rate, right? So then we can just say if statement. So then you see here, earlier we have one condition for if, one condition for another if. But now here, if you have two expression, rational expression, we can just using the and to connect them together. Because in this case, only both is true, then you can qualify for the special interest rate. So that's why you see if the employee is equal to Y and your recent grade equal to Y, then you are qualified for special rate. So otherwise, you see you are not qualified. So you are not qualified, we still give the user clear statement to let them know why they are not qualified. So you must be employed and have graduated from college in the past 2 years. So the same thing, make sure you run this example on your IDE. So here I have the Cloud9 open. So then we see the example 7. So you can see the same thing. We have the user, we ask the user for the input. So then you see here we're using the and to connect these two expressions. So then when you run the program, so then we run the result. Okay, so you can see they ask you about, are you employed or not? Okay, so then we say yes. So are you recently graduated from the 2-year college? You say yes. So then you qualify for the special interest rate. But you see, no matter each one, so are you employed? No. Are you recently graduated from college? Yes. So then you see, because one is false, one is true, so they still do the else. So they see out you must be employed and graduate from college for the past 2 years. So that's our example for the logical expression. So you have logical operator and. So then here we will stop here. Next week we will show you more example about how to do the and in the or example.